this video, I'm going to show you how to make your own beeswax wraps, or indeed soy wraps. Really quick, really easy, and no special equipment. So no more need to use that single-use plastic for wrapping your food, especially for those picnics. So what are we going to need to do? Well, all you need is your ordinary ironing board or ironing pad, depending what you use, and some greaseproof paper. Now, you might call that baking paper where you are, but I recommend a couple of sheets, then they're just to protect your ironing board. You don't want wax on it. And then once you've got your couple of sheets that are plenty big enough, you're going to need your piece of fabric. A good quality cotton's a great idea. I used fat quarters for mine, and it's then going to make a nice wrap. You can use any design you like. This one is 12 inches by 12 inches, but of course you can make them any size you like. If your wax is in a lump, I recommend peeling it or grating it to make the pieces smaller. It's just going to be a lot easier for you to get it to melt onto your fabric and spread. Now this one I'm doing with soy wax, which came in these small pellets, so I can simply drop them all over the fabric. So you can see why you want small pieces, because you want to spread them out. Now if you're concerned about what sort of wax to buy, be it beeswax or soy wax, there are some links below the video that you can go to and have a look and see the sort of wax that's suitable. I personally don't worry too much about it, but you could be concerned about it being food safe, for example. So do go and have a look and just see what you might use. So once you think you've covered the whole fabric and you've got plenty on there, it's going to be time to melt it. So you're going to need another sheet of greaseproof paper that you spread out and make sure everything's covered. You do not want to get this on your iron. So then you need your iron to be set to a dry setting. You don't want any steam at all. And then if you've got beeswax, you want a low cotton setting. Soy wax a little bit cooler. What I would say is it doesn't matter how cool you go, if it doesn't melt, you can always increase the temperature. So then place your iron on and just slowly start moving it around. You're just trying to melt that wax and then move it around the fabric. You're just spreading it around and you can see what's happening. You can see the wax melting and you can see it spreading. And just keep going with that motion until it's all done. If you're enjoying the video, please give me a thumbs up, because it helps it spread to more people. So more people can make these and fewer people will be using those plastics that you use just once. So you can see I'm just making sure it's spread right to the edges. And once you think you're done, it's time to set your iron to one side and have a look. So you'll peel up the top sheet and look at your fabric. And like mine, you may see areas that you've not managed to cover with the wax. So you can see I've got some at the edges. Just add some more wax and go again. It really doesn't matter how many times you have to do this. So really don't worry how much wax you put on. You're just going to have a little of an experiment. When you've done 2 or 3, you'll know exactly how much to put on. But if you miss any, just do this. Cover it back over and then iron it again. And you can keep doing that until you're happy. And then once you are completely happy and you have covered all the fabric, you will have completed your wrap. And in a moment, I'll show you some tips and tricks for using them and storing them and cleaning them. But you can see all I'm doing is focusing on the areas that I've added the wax. Just making sure the whole thing's covered. And then this time when you peel your paper back, you're also going to need to lift your wrap. Now be very careful. It may well be hot. You have just been ironing it. Don't want you to get burnt. But you're going to need to lift it and hold it while it dries, or you could peg it up while it dries. But you just want it to dry and then it's ready for use. And you'll have a great wrap for your food. So I promised some tips for storing and using. So you can see a large selection of my wraps. And what you'll notice is they're all different sizes. It's a great idea to do a selection of sizes so that you can wrap different things effectively. You'll see I even have a tiny one for putting bits and pieces back in the fridge when I've just got a bit of something left. You'll also notice the B one's got a circle. That's because I use it to cover this bowl when I put things in the fridge. When you're using your wraps, you really want nice warm hands so that it softens enough to go around whatever you're wrapping it round. You could then add an elastic band, or you could just leave it as it is if you're happy. Now obviously when you've used them, you're going to want to clean them. Just use warm soapy water. You can use a cloth. Just make sure your water's not too hot. If it's too hot for your hands, it's too hot for the wrap. When you store them, try and avoid folding them. Just wrap them up or store them flat. So good luck with your wraps and good luck with no more plastic.